Japan, a nation known for its technological prowess, anime, and economic stability, has, hit an economic snag. Recent reports show a surprising slide into recession, and so the question on everyone's mind is why? Why is Japan in a recession? And also, how can Japan bounce back? Well, let's discuss that right now. Firstly, let's understand the why. Japan's recession, marked by 2 consecutive quarters of GDP contraction, is a tale of internal and external pressures. Internally, consumer spending and capital investment have weakened significantly. Imagine a scenario where people are holding back on buying those new gadgets or companies postponing their expansion plans. This is what's happening in Japan. Delving into the numbers, Japan's GDP fell by an annualized 0.4 in the last quarter. Consumer spending, making up more than half of Japan's economic activity, fell by 0.2%. So this is not good. Consumer spending is typically an extremely important part of one's economy, and for most developed countries, it makes up the bulk of GDP. See this graph. And so it's very important, as when consumers spend money, it creates revenue for businesses, which leads to job creation, income generation, all that good stuff. However, a shrinking consumption will lead to many problems, like less revenue for businesses, which will lead to layoffs, unemployment, and reduced spending can signal a lack of consumer confidence, which can further dampen economic activity. In fact, this is an issue China is struggling with right now. It is also probably spurred on at the moment due to Japan's rapidly aging population, which I'm sure everybody knows about at this point, but again, an aging population will put a much heavier burden on the government. Now, what about the external factors Japan is facing? Well, first is a declining market in China. China, who has typically been Japan's biggest export partner, has started to decrease. This is due to a few reasons. Firstly, Japan's biggest export to China has typically been cars. However, over the last 5 years or so, China's automobile industry, mainly their EV industry, has seen insane growth, with China becoming the largest car exporter in the world. This has led to a slowing in demand for combustion engine Japanese cars as China looks towards EVs more and more. And so what's the way out for Japan? Well, Japan's path to recovery could involve several key steps. The first being increasing domestic demand. How do you do this? Well, firstly, you could reduce interest rates, as this will make borrowing money cheaper, encouraging both individuals and businesses to spend more. You could also decrease taxes in order to increase spending, as this will mean people will have more disposable income. Japan could also seek to expand into new emerging markets, like the EV market for example, which has seen a lot of success for China, but hasn't been quite as successful for the Japanese automobiles, and this could be due to some reluctance, as seen with Toyota, who have been rather anti-EV over the last couple of years. But finally, Japan could also seek to implement long-term structural reforms like the labor market, which they could implement policies to encourage not only female participation in certain markets, but also accepting more skilled immigrants and extending the retirement age. And so Japan's recession is a complex issue with no single solution, but with strategic steps and a focus on both short-term relief, long-term reforms, there's a path forward. But will Japan take it? That is the question. And so that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed watching, leave a like, comment, subscribe.